What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We've got another veteran spotlight here today. It's me again, Danny.
Hey, this is Rob Holmes, and I'm going to introduce, this is Craig Allen. He's the owner of Frag City, did time in the Marine Corps. We can probably tell you more about everything in his career today, because that's why we brought him in. So let's go ahead and turn over to him and have him talk about his
Thanks
career.
for having me here today, guys.
All right.
Definitely. Thanks for being here.
I like to tell everybody in general, I'm a third generation Marine, so I did 4 of my own and 20 of my dad's, so 24 altogether. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, I don't care. It doesn't have a label on it. The only label it has.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I make my own mead, and Rob was putting it away. If anything, it just supports me instead of, because I made it.
I just want him staring at the bottle of alcohol instead of my face.
Nice.
Makes everybody thirsty.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hit
All
me
right,
up for
continue on.
Yeah, so I guess my time in the Corps started at Pink Hospital in Hawaii, so I was born in Tripler.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Graduated Jacksonville Senior High in Jacksonville, North Carolina. So, and then, 2 years after graduating high school, bumped around Jacksonville a bit, odd jobs here and there. Worked at Standard Iron and a couple other companies, and then eventually joined the Corps at the age of 20. And my age or base date is St. Patrick's Day, so March 17th, 1998.
98. All right. So about like a year. What year was this?
Yeah.
Yep. So from there went off to it's a tradition in the Allen family to go to boot camp in San Diego. So from the RSS station in Jacksonville, went to the regional in Raleigh. Made them buy me a ticket to San Diego. Went to boot camp in San Diego.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're happy to do that.
I'm sure they were.
So, my uncle went to
Neither one.
my uncle went to San Diego. My dad went to San Diego, all at Alabama. And then from there, because I went to boot camp in San Diego, I went to MCT at Pendleton. And then as a 4066, which is a small computer specialist.
Yeah, computer, right?
Yeah, so I came right in as 3542s. The data center messaging traffic was being phased out
Right.
into the 4000 outfield. And then as I left the Marine Corps, the 4000 went away to the 06, 56, and 58s. And
Crazy, isn't it?
all the data things guys were officially 06 when I left.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, now it's all privatized, and I think they're trying to bring it back though. They are actually starting to bring it back.
Well, they're trying to compete, but it's just impossible.
That's tough.
It's one of the reasons I got out. So.
Right. That's part of the reason. One of the reasons why
It is.
Frag City now,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Because it's needed.
Yeah, from there I went on to McSess, to 4000 course. After McSess, graduated like second or third in the class. I picked Hawaii, so I got stationed at 3rd Marine Regiment.
Nice.
And then from the regiments, they dictated where the 4000s went. So after about 6 to 9 months there, I got sent down to 112, and then spent the rest of my time in 112.
Artillery battery.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
So that is the and artillery battery.
geez.
Actually, the artillery battalion, right? Never went down to the batteries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the 4000s.
You don't want to be down there with the peasants anyway, right?
They don't really rate 4000s or data things. They only rated wire dogs and rated them.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, I would say my time in the Corps was fun. Just riddled with being overweight, fighting weight control, things of that nature. And the archaic mindset of the 98 to 2002. So
Yeah, there's
nobody knew shit about eating carbs or high protein or trying anything. It was strictly run. So
run, swim, or do whatever you can to try to keep down.
So at the time, my weight rate was supposed to be 181. I averaged to like 190-ish, 200 the whole time.
Oh,
But I ran over 30 miles a week.
Yeah.
So and I could run a 17-minute PFT at 200 pounds, but we've never made it past Lance Corporal.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's rough.
I had similar issues.
Yep.
I was max was 220 for me. 6'4", 220, and ooh man.
It's rough.
When I was 220, like
I think the
my
beard's
ribs.
way up.
Well, if I had this beard, I would have stayed in the Marine Corps if I had this thing.
Especially after getting out of the Corps and being a dirty contractor. I've
Yeah.
been deployed twice as a contractor, seeing all the Delta Farce guys, and everyone
Yeah.
look, you bastards get to do this, but nobody else,
Yeah. Nobody else gets that.
Nobody else
privilege.
gets what's so special about you, right? Yeah.
You guys, I bet you the Marines get jealous, man, seeing you when you
Oh
walk
yeah,
into
it's all,
that
yeah.
magnificent beard.
Yeah.
So-
I bet they drool.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had fun in the Corps. It was a good time. It was just, I knew from going in, being 20, like I say, in boot camp, my bunk mate was Duncan, and he was a transfer truck driver before he joined the Corps.
Mm.
So, and I used to work standing like a diesel plant. So when we came in at
Nice.
ragtime, I'm like, I gotta listen to this fool yell at me all day,
Yeah.
but I still get 8 hours of sleep and I get paid. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's easy day. And
Yeah.
that's what the Corps was for me, as a job,
Yeah.
you know, and a tradition just for my family. So
I think the best piece of advice for boot camp is it takes more mental toughness
It
than it
is.
does physical, because they'll get you in shape.
oh my god,
It doesn't matter. You could go into boot camp passing the minimum,
Mhm.
and you'll come out being a rock star.
Well, I sweated myself into boot camp because I did the DEP. I did a 3-day DEP, I guess. Have you ever
Yeah.
did? So I went in. I literally wore a sweatsuit to cut water weight so I could make it just at the MEP station.
Yeah.
Once I weighed in underweight, by the time I got to boot camp, I was 5 or 6 pounds overweight. They didn't give a damn.
Yeah.
I went through boot camp. I was a half rations, whatever. I went into, when you went into mess week, I ended up, because it's a job, I ran the kitchen washing station,
Mhm.
came out and was given squad leader and kept squad leader until the rest of the course and graduated meritorious PFC.
Yeah.
That's good. That's hard to pull
Yeah,
off.
yeah. So I mean, it just once I realized it was a job.
Yeah.
You just do a
Treat it
job.
like a job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I had a DI pull me aside one day. He's like, you know, when you're squaring away, she's like, just convert job to manager. And when you're a squad leader, you're just in charge of other idiots on the job.
Yeah. So instead of a squad leader, you're a supervisor.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it. That's it.
Mhm.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, you put
Yeah.
that in context. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get over that mindset of like, I had a big issue with like, when I joined the Marine Corps, I want to make friends.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I went through boot camp, I had to go through boot camp twice. And the first time I was there, I was like, I want to make friends, I want to make family. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I joined the Marine Corps,
Gotcha.
just for like family. And when I went to boot camp the first time, I tried to do that, and it bit me in the ass a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second time, I was like, look, I'm here to do a job.
Yep.
And I graduated, I graduated guide
Yeah.
of the honor platoon.
Nice.
And same thing when I went to MCT, I was a squad leader. When I went to MOS school, I was the class leader.
Yeah.
Because I treated it like a job. Like, everybody was like, oh, let's go party, you know, this and that. And I'm like, well, I mean, have fun. Like,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm here for.
Yeah.
You know the hilarious part is I was the complete opposite of you all guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I ducked everything, man. I didn't care about nothing. Just kind of ride my time, and then eventually I think I was like, I ended up staying in.
Yeah.
You know, so it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I was a
Yeah,
little
I
older.
wanted to do all the fun stuff, and I felt like
Yeah.
I missed a lot of it. Like, started at boot camp, like, we didn't even get to do the rappel wall, because it's not a requirement for graduation.
Mm.
Like, you know, we almost didn't do the high obstacle course or the confidence
Yeah.
course, because it's not, right? I graduated WSQ1, so I never took swim qual again.
Yeah.
It's 4
Nice.
years, right?
Yeah.
Took rifle course, yeah, everybody gets to go, but it's not like you really have to put anything into it, you
Yeah.
know? Because I never got corporal or anything, I never did pistol, right? I'm a 4,000 with artillery, but I never got to go to the dirt bike course. They sent wire dogs. I'm like, this is, yeah, because
Yeah.
once you become that mindset, like once you're a good worker in the Marine Corps, it can also keep you down, which is infuriating because
That's true.
Yeah.
can't let you go, you're too good at your job, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, but the fuck up that's got a DUI gets to go to the dirt bike course, and he
Right.
gets to go to Aussie, and you need the 4,000 to stay home to work
But
on.
you need to go to corporal's course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, or saying you gotta go to a course that no one
Well,
wants
like
to go to.
I graduated meritorious at a boot camp, and went back and I did 30 days of recruit because I was going to California for
Mm.
my 4,000 course, so they gave me
Yeah.
recruiter's assistance.
Mm.
So because I was already meritorious, I had to get 3 in order to pick up Lance Corporal. I made 2, and then 1 failed out, so missed out on meritorious Lance Corporal.
Oh man.
Right, and then once you're already meritorious in PFC in the schoolhouse, you're not getting
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
3 until you get to the fleet.
No.
Yeah, so
Yes.
Yeah, the Marine Corps has a very funny way of like the way it treats people.
Mhm.
Like
reward
When-
and punish, reward and
I
punish.
busted my ass
Mhm.
all the way up until my unit left me in Iraq.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, I had that like I'm on my OFP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for those of you who don't know, it's its own fucking program.
Yep. Yeah.
Pardon my whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, once I started getting on my OFP, like they were like, oh, do you want to go do this? Do you want to go do that? You want to go do this? And I'm kind of like, no,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go, but I'm getting out. If that's what you want, that you
Sure.
want me to stay in, and you're trying to like butter me up,
Yeah.
it's not happening.
No, it just gets, it's just infuriating.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the worst part, and I know you guys were there, what were your dates?
05 to 10.
Yeah, so you missed the, like,
Oh,
from
yeah.
98 to 02, I know it's the most painful time. It's like,
There wasn't really much going. Well, it was.
it's nothing like being a Marine
Yeah.
without war or combat.
Yeah.
There's no
I think
Somalia,
it was
there's
until
no
like
desert.
2000, right?
Yeah.
I think that's when I
I
started.
literally
doing
got
that.
out. My best friends. They call them. They are my brothers.
Yeah.
My kids call them Uncle Rob and Uncle Neil. They live in Delaware, and they live in Pennsylvania. We were all in 112,
Yeah.
and we all had within 20 days of us getting out.
Right.
So we spent our entire 3+ years in 112 together. Got out at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm like, if stop loss happens because of 9/11, we'll all re-enlist.
Yeah.
Not one of us in Hawaii in 112 got stop loss, so we all got out.
Right.
And we've all made great careers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Neil's an IT director at Pepco, runs their entire virtual infrastructure. My buddy Rob's a Navy fireman, and just
Nice.
outside of New York, and he's
Nice.
been a federal fireman ever since he got out.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah,
I've
awesome.
done
Yeah.
IT contracted and started the company 6 years ago. So
Sweet. Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, that work ethic carried. We all had the same mentality because we just lived the core and like. And once you get out, you have all these junior Marines like, oh, I'm so jealous, this, that, and the other. And the three of us would tell them, you're out of your mind. Now's the time to work.
Yeah.
You have it so easy, like people don't realize it. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
you get 3 meals a day, you get a place to live. You've never paid rent. You went from your mom's bedroom
Yeah.
to
Hotel
barracks,
California.
right? And
Yeah.
you're bitching that you have
Yeah.
to get up in the morning and go for a jog and you get paid for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Granted, you think it's not enough pay. Find somebody else besides a baseball player that gets paid to exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah. if
Well,
you're-
nowadays they get paid. Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, when you really compare it back to when we went in
Yeah.
there, now they're getting paid
Yes.
very nicely. And
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's definitely worth
Yes. Oh no.
it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be. I mean,
I have a 17-year-old. I'm like, please join the Corps or Army or something. I'm not going to make you. I thoroughly believe in our country. We have a voluntary service because that's what works, and that's truly
Yeah.
proven over the last 200 years the best fighting force.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, a paid military, that's forced labor, doesn't equal
Yeah.
people fighting for their freedom.
yeah.
And
Exactly.
whatever that individual point is, whether it's red, white, and blue, right, your dog back home or your wife and kids, whatever you choose to fight for
Yeah.
as a volunteer service, I believe is the best for our nation.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, because you're willing to sacrifice more.
Yeah.
You're there for a reason.
You've
instead
made the
of-
choice instead of being told to.
Right.
Yeah.
Not there's no forced fun. You know, you're
Well, no,
you
that's
chose
what,
to do it.
and if you look, because I've deployed as a contractor with Army guys, and I've seen what they're given, and it's just right, the two different mindsets of what it is to be a Marine versus a soldier, as well as just operationally what the Corps is for versus what each one of the departments has a specific function.
Right.
And
Yeah.
just the way we are structured to be that MAGTF and the amount that we're screwed with when we're not in war just
Right.
creates an angst that is unmatched on the battlefield. It really, like, until you've gone through a Marine Corps field day or been with some of those first sergeants or the 22-year-old PFC that has to listen to the 17-year-old meritorious lance corporal telling me what to do,
Yeah.
right? That angst just builds.
You remember the iron-on? We used to iron on
Yes.
the globe and anchors on our toilet paper.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have to do that?
I stitch
I
my
did.
own name tapes on.
I didn't.
Right. Well, I mean, besides the names, yeah.
You just have to like the idea that they don't have to like iron their camis. Like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just wearing
Just on the dryer.
pajamas. You don't
Yeah, just
polish
on
your
the
boot. There's
Yeah, throw 'em in the
zero.
dryer, yeah.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Yeah.
I never lived in the barracks. Fun fact.
Yeah.
I got married in MOS school to my surprise first wife.
Same.
Thank you, Marine Corps.
Same thing.
And so when I went to Pendleton, I stayed in these condemned barracks
Mhm.
for like 2 weeks till my house was ready, and then I lived there. But it was like field days. They were like, "Oh, you got to be here for field day." I'm like, why? I don't live there.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
well,
same thing.
It's camaraderie. I'm like, cool. Who's gonna come clean my house?
Yeah.
Oh, nobody. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Or they would call me at like. Well,
Junk
they're
on the
having
bunk is in the shop, right? They bring in a cop for you
Yeah.
and set it up. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they used to like when they would do they would search the rooms with the drug dogs.
Yeah.
They were like, you got to be formation at 0330. Okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
I get there, and then like 4 hours later, I'm like, I'm just standing there, and I would try to be like, I would try to get to whoever I could to be like, hey, can you talk to whoever's in charge? Like, why am I here? I don't live here. You're not searching my room. If you find drugs anywhere in here, it's not my drugs.
Yeah.
You know, so why am I here?
If you search my house, it's not.
Yeah, you come search my house. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
legally can't.
Yeah, you can come try to search my house.
Yeah.
But I mean, why am I here?
I don't know.
Right.
And I learned very quickly to just when stuff's like that, just say something to
Yeah.
somebody,
Yeah.
and somebody will be like, wait, you're here? Why? Like,
Yeah.
yo, Master Sergeant, I have no idea. I'm only a Lance Corporal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you bring up a good point. I have a first wife as well. So.
Yeah, thank you, Marine Corps. Yeah.
Well, no, it's because it's structured wrong, right? Those of us, especially in my condition, like when you realize your pay triples because you marry this woman,
Mhm.
right? I'm giving the independence of a 22-year-old man back.
Yeah.
I get to choose where I live. I get to buy my own meals. I'm not mandated to use the chow hall,
Mhm.
right? So literally, my pay went from 500 to 1,500 because I my marriage certificate.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. It's
ridiculous.
it's almost a no-brainer.
It is. Yeah, but I mean, even if I made it a corporal sergeant, they're not given that same thing. But getting married gives you that independence.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. There were sergeants who lived in the barracks.
Exactly.
I mean, these guys who were like,
Hell, there's
26.
sergeant majors that live in the barracks.
There are.
I saw one time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew gunnies, but that is a choice. But
Yeah.
I don't know if the rocker gives you the ability to move off, or if
Yeah,
it's just
I
an
don't-
age thing. Like, what point? Yeah. No, but you get married,
Yeah.
you can triple your paycheck, and
Yeah.
you get to have
you
your own
gotta pick where
freedom
you
again.
live. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
actually a requirement for the higher up ranks.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
a sergeant major, if you want to be a sergeant major, you
Well,
have
like
to be
Krulak,
married.
right? Krulak said he didn't get married until he bit on the star
Yeah.
because he couldn't
Because-
get any farther without it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
what it is, man. It's the same idea with sergeant majors. They
Yeah.
because it require you to actually have housing as a sergeant major now.
Mhm.
So if they want you to be married.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's my question for you. So, dude, you were with the Army battery, and I haven't heard anything about deployments yet. You started to talk about deployments.
No, I've done PTA 9 times.
Holy crap! That's
Yep.
Palakaloa training area in Hawaii.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mauna
That's
Loa, Mauna
basically
Kea.
yeah, right next to the
Yep.
basically all the lava rock you could ever possibly want to see
Yeah.
in one spot.
Yep. I went back and forth on the Fast Freddy several times from the Oahu to the Big Island.
On the big on the giant.
Yeah, the front
Yeah,
loader.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yep. It's now I think owned by it's either Kuwait or some other country.
Yeah,
So you can go find it. It's got its own wiki page.
Pretty
It's
crazy.
funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
you-
it. I mean, that's all they got to do for that.
I
4
never
years.
got to go to Korea because it was a 4,000, so I stayed back in
Not
the
the
Union
Rock?
fixing. Nope, never got to go to Hawaii.
Wow.
Or never got to go
Lucked
to
out, this
Aussie.
guy.
Right? See, this is it turned into if I have such a job, right? And then at the same time, NMCI was let, right? Navy Marine Corps Internet contract was let out. So the Navy let out their IT services contract, and the big Department of Navy and DoD said you're not going this way unless the Marine Corps comes along. So that the Marine Corps didn't want it, right?
Right.
Like we had all that knowledge in the 4,000 fields and in the 06s,
Yeah.
and then it was gone and stripped. I was the beginning of that wave. I left the Marine Corps as the 06 field was being developed to incorporate the 4,000s.
Wow.
So I came in, never being a 3542, only 4,000, and I left as a 4,000. My DD214 has an MOS that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So once I left, instantly I took the day off. I got out the day before my birthday. I spent my birthday watching the entire Godfather series, getting drunk, having a good time.
Yeah.
The next day I went to work at 5 times what I made as Lance Corporal Allen,
Yeah.
right, for an IT company on this contract.
Mhm.
And then over the next 10 years, which is how long this contract initially started,
Yeah.
now it's in its second cycle of 10 years. So 20 years, what's happening now,
Mhm.
you're seeing just this sucking chest wound of all IT knowledge being contracted out.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is fine, except for DISA and MCI don't function forward.
And MCI still exists.
Yeah, well now it's the continuity services contract,
Yes.
and it was
I was about to
just...
say.
Right, but it's the same contract, just
Right.
it was given back
Just a
to...
different name, right?
Right, EDS won it, then bought by HP, then split out again, and now Leidos just won it. And
Okay.
they've carried it on for another 10 years.
Man, crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, but forward deployed, contractors don't go. I mean,
Yeah.
I went, but I went forward in, I think, 2009 to 10 with One MEF, with Mattis was there,
Mhm.
and I went with First MLG as a contractor, but I did contracting for the C2 systems.
Oh, okay.
So all the JDocs, FATEDs, all the close air support CAS systems, not traditional help desk IT stuff.
Right.
And then the second time I went forward was with, I think, 2000. Oh yeah, first time was 6 to 8 or something, and then the second time was 9 to 11. I did 15 plus months the second time.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got buddies over there. I had a buddy in Alabama. He did 10 years straight as a contractor.
Make bank.
Yeah,
Yeah, the rest of
literally.
working it
I
out.
mean, my first time over, I made like 200 plus a year. My second time over, I was making over 300 a year.
Well, if you don't see me for the next 12 months, you know what I'm doing.
I mean, there's no like GWAT was a huge payday for a lot of
They're
people.
paying that good now.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
They might go back to that eventually. But I think they're paying. I think I saw like an ad for like what $200 a day or something like that, and I'm like, dude, you'd be a substitute teacher for that.
Yeah. So
I'd rather do that than be a substitute teacher.
yeah,
I don't
it was a
know.
good time going forward. I treated it like prison. You know,
Right.
yeah. Both times I was with my current wife, girlfriend at the time.
Mhm.
So basically, just yeah, you work your job, you work 12-hour days and then 10 on Sunday. So essentially, you get 2 paychecks in 1 week because you're putting in 80 hours a week.
Wow.
You can go to the gym as much as you want. You get 3 meals.
Yeah.
Then you work. So yeah.
Don't you do rugby or something like that?
Yeah, I do rugby now. So
Okay.
I play with several travel teams. Well, one of them is a Marine Corps team, retired Marines,
Nice.
veterans. It's called Old Breed. So a buddy of mine, Warrant Officer Carlson, is retired. He's the president of it. We have all the way from U20 up to Old Boys, which is where I play.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, shout
That's
out
cool.
to Old Brie.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck on some games there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I came out this west was with another travel team I played with, Halifax, a bunch of local guys in the Virginia area and North Carolina who played at Missoula.
You got a former like corpsman out there just handing out like your
Motrin.
Motrin and
Yeah.
change your socks, drink some water.
Yeah, Old Breed is pretty deep and steep. Like we play a game in Virginia, just the Old Boys, which is traditionally 40 and over. And we have people travel all internationally to come to the game. We have people come down
That's
from
pretty cool.
Ohio, just in Virginia. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
blast.
that's pretty rocking, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's pretty awesome.
Hey, what other hobbies do you do
I do that. I do a bit of riding, so motorcycles.
now?
Nice.
Yeah. And
That's
then,
the way you do it. I think it's like a vet thing, man. I think
Yeah.
we're slacking, man.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
getting ready to sell my car to buy a motorcycle.
Oh,
Nice.
well, I'm just.
Surprise. Heads up to my wife.
Yeah, my current
I'll probably cut that out.
my current hobby is
You done now, man.
Yeah.
thanks to the lockdown and whatnot, homeschooling 2 of my kids. The oldest one is doing virtual, and we're doing we have a contract being started in Camp Pendleton. So I took off from Virginia, traveling, hit Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, stopped over in Illinois, hit Sioux Falls, South Dakota, did Badlands for 3 days, did Yellowstone for 7 days. We're here for 3, then going down to Vegas for 2, dropping the wife and kids off at the in-laws for a week while I go into San Diego, kick off this contract, and then we're driving back to Grand Canyon, Albuquerque, maybe hitting Dallas,
That's
doing
pretty cool.
doing a place in Arkansas. They have this private company owns this field full of diamonds. So they plow the field every day,
Oh, wow.
and you can go in and look for your own
See if you find it?
diamonds. Well, you pick them up and take whatever you find.
Oh.
So they're like little, brown or green or whatever, like not
Yeah.
the true traditional white diamonds, but whatever. The guy just found a 8-carat brown diamonds, like a couple grand.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep, and then coming back in Nashville and then being home just before Halloween.
Oh,
After
nice.
like a 6-week road trip.
That's not bad though. That's
Yeah.
not bad.
My buddy just went on the, he's probably still out there now. He went on the Trans-American Trail.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Yeah.
It's,
Vaguely familiar with it.
it's basically, instead of going from the east coast of Virginia, I think he went from New York City
Okay.
and went from New York. And it's basically you travel across America until you get to the coast in Oregon.
Yeah.
And you take all the back routes.
Mhm.
And it's basically you're driving through America's backyard.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard of it before.
Yeah, it's like a 21 to like 26 day motorcycle trip.
Oh,
You're-
nice.
you're
Nice.
for the majority of time you're off road, so it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you need like quality enduro.
Yeah, you need a dual sport.
Yeah.
So just something like that. I think he went out on his BMW.
Yeah, like a 1200 does it or something. I mean,
Something
BMW,
like that.
KTM, that with the
Yeah.
off-road.
well, BMW makes I mean, you see a lot of the guys, the touring guys, they wear high quality, you're looking at a $12,000 BMW type,
Oh, yeah.
but it will climb a mountain.
It will do whatever you need.
Yeah, or it'll sit in traffic. It will
Yeah.
do what it needs to do.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure which bike he took, but
Nice.
yeah, I was supposed to go, but my truck broke,
Yeah.
so I had to buy a new one, which I used the money for my. I was on my way to pick up a motorcycle and go on this trip,
Nice.
and my truck broke down. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm
That's a
selling
bad
my-
luck right there.
That's what I'm selling.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to tell you something, man. Maybe
Yeah.
this is more important right now.
Right.
Just kidding. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just doing this for fun, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, in the scope of things, I feel like this is more important than
Yeah.
going and having a good time. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I'm still
this,
having a good
but
time.
this is a good time.
Yeah. But I mean, this'll like the way I look at this is this'll live on for. It's on the internet.
Yeah, man.
It'll be there for decades and
Anybody.
decades and decades.
That's it. We just made you famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll live on in the internet forever.
The beer alone does it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It'd be recognized. It. I'm working on mine, by the way. It's gonna
Nice.
take me a few more years before I can live
Yeah.
at these guys' level.
Yeah, but like I mean, that's why I love the core, and I had a little bit from my dad. But I mean, like, as you get older, it used to be every day, adapt and overcome, happen somewhere in that day. Now it's less and less, just because I've gotten, quote unquote wiser, just better adaptive. But
Yeah.
I've also got bad habits I picked up. Like
Yeah.
I have a huge 2500 truck. We're doing this across, and because I was in artillery, I can truck it. So
Yeah.
and I tend to overpack and bring it, but
Might as
I
well.
also can't do it. So I just
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
That's actually a good
Yeah.
philosophy to have. You
Yeah.
gotta be over prepared than unprepared.
Oh no,
Any day.
it's just it used to be the art because me personally as a minimalist, I can get by with a backpack and
Mm,
same
of course,
pair of
yeah.
clothes, but
Right.
you have the wife and the 3 kids, it's like how much do we need and
Yeah.
why?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, driving around with a storage bin full of kitchens
Mm.
and food,
wow.
and
Yeah.
every time we stop, somebody needs a stack from the store. Like, why am I carrying this box of food?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh no, I know what you mean. I've been there, done that. So, a question for you then. Well, you can probably answer this one too. So, on you guys' first marriages, you guys had both first marriages.
Yep.
About what point did that kind of change? Did you have any kids with the first marriage?
Oh,
Or?
I have 2 daughters with my first wife. They
Oh,
live
wow.
in Hawaii. Yep. So Isabel and Samantha, they are currently 17 and 15.
Oh wow.
Yep.
So they get ready to be getting
Yeah,
ready to get out of the
they're
house.
on
there.
their own. They're
Good to
that's
know.
a whole another.
And then how long did you? So your first marriage.
We were married 4.5 years. So
So you made it
I got out
past-
2002.
Huh.
We moved to. I worked about a year in Hawaii for NMCI. I helped build the NOC, the Tonga Pearl Harbor, and then took a new job and moved to honestly right there in Camp Pendleton. I worked at McTisso on base.
I remember that place.
Yep, and then I lived in Fallbrook. So
Nice.
we had our second daughter in Hawaii or in California.
Oh, nice.
That's where Samantha was born.
Okay.
And then Samantha was just less than a year. We sort of fell apart, and then
Yeah.
as I've gotten older and the core started it, I've become my own person, as my wife says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This beard's come in.
Yeah.
Have the motorcycle. I own my own company. It started back then when I was working odd jobs. I just I'd rather fail on my own than succeed for somebody else.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, not only that, but we grow differently as we get older too. I mean, so
Yeah. I mean, I did a stint as a federal employee. I did about a year and a half, and I really thought that was going to be my career.
Mhm.
I did almost 10 years of federal contracting, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a govy job. Took one, got the pay band I liked. We were happy, and then I got with Headquarters Marine Corps, and I'm like, I know GS-12s in the fleet that have more authority and get to start and finish more projects than I do.
Yeah.
I'm a 13 looking at 14, and every time I want to make a decision, I got to ask Mother, may I? I was like, I did more to help the Corps and had more independence as a contractor than I do as a GS employee.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I wanted to, I literally could have retired on. I mean, it's impossible to fire a federal employee,
Yeah.
right? And as a veteran, I'm protected anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Right.
even have to go through the conditional probationary period.
Yeah.
Like instantly, I'm protected by the largest union ever.
Yeah.
But I just knew that wasn't for me. I couldn't just sit there for the next 20 some years. Rather go start a company. If it fails, it fails. I can always go get a job.
Yeah. Well, and that's something, once you have those qualifications, you can always fall back on that. Like,
Yep.
you start your own company, it goes under. I mean, you still have that option to go back to where you were because.
You just collect more capital and start another company.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Unless you're.
Frag City's a bootstrap operation. Honestly, every dollar we make is ours.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Like, if anybody's thinking about starting a company, that's the biggest thing it's my biggest recommendation.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
we've been doing it coming up on 7 years.
Mhm.
You know, trust me, there was times, right? My preparedness helped me. I had a house full of food, and we'd start looking in the freezer because my partners or my contract companies I was working with were slow on paying my invoices. So it happens,
Yeah.
But never
Right.
actually starved. Wasn't actually homeless.
Yeah.
Occasionally maybe missed one mortgage payment and then double paid it.
Sure.
Shit
Still
happens.
stress here and there,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
You know, but at the end of the day, when we hit it big, I don't owe anybody 30%
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It's
because they
all-
let me borrow 10 grand 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, right.
That's how it works.
yeah.
People fail to realize that. You take
Yeah.
those short gains, you're gonna have a long-term loss.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Just like saw all the kids in high school, right, going to the convenience store and
Yeah.
buying Snickers and candy bars with a credit card.
Yeah.
Like you're paying interest on a soda.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Craziness.
That $3 soda is going to end up costing you,
Yeah.
$10-12.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you couldn't wait and save up.
Exactly. Yeah.
right,
Definitely.
exactly.
Which
Yeah.
definitely happens throughout the core,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the lower.
Oh,
rank.
jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's just anybody young in general. You want everything now.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of and every parking lot has them. These new car, or they buy a car outside of base
Yep.
for
Oh my God! Don't even get me started. with this
30%
one.
interest
Yes.
rate,
Yeah.
and
Oh, my buddy Bill, he's retired warrant officer too. And
Yeah.
his son's in the Corps, and he's got a 3 Series Beamer,
oh,
and then he's got a kid that he didn't marry the wife for, and
Yeah.
I'm like, how? Just
Yeah.
Right.
at some point you got to stop blaming your parents.
Mhm.
Like at some
Yeah.
point, you get all.
You make your own decisions.
I
eh?
wasn't raised this that.
You get
Raised
paid.
what? You're 24 years old.
Yeah.
At what point is your mom and dad still responsible
Yeah.
for you?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get paid for that one way or the other,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
I started
That's
paying
the way
taxes
it is.
before 18 because I had a job.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That-
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I have a big issue with Marines when, excuse me, whatever job you're in, you handle equipment, worth thousands and thousands of dollars,
Mhm.
but yet you can't have a microwave in
Yeah.
your room because you're a lower enlisted.
I have the same
Actually,
issue
microwaves
with,
are fine now. It's
Oh,
the
they're fine now.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's the
Sorry,
No,
it's been a while.
Yeah.
It came with the new ones.
yeah.
I have
they
an
come
issue
in.
with.
They come with them now.
Yeah.
I have an issue
Okay.
on the IT side, right? Just
Yeah.
when it comes into clearances, right? So,
Yeah.
I have a secret or top secret clearance or whatever caveat,
Yeah.
but you don't trust me on the non-cleared network. Like it's
Yeah.
Right.
a personal responsibility, not
Yeah.
securing the networks. Right? Punish those that do wrong
Yeah.
versus punishing everybody else
Right, right.
because that dude did wrong.
Well, the
Yeah.
blanket punishing, yeah, this is just
Yeah.
does punishing everybody for one person's
Yeah.
mistake. Is
Well, I
just,
mean, I use the word punishing, but on your network, they lock everything down because
Yeah.
one guy did something he shouldn't do.
right.
Versus, right, if you screw up and do something you're not supposed to do,
Yeah.
Boom,
There's
yeah.
yeah,
Bye bye.
the Marine Corps definitely has a policy where they'd rather punish everybody
Yeah.
than go for specific individuals. And it's proven by, look how many times you guys mess up and all right, everybody, we're police calling.
yeah, I don't agree.
Somebody was late, so we're gonna go for an extra
Let's
3
not
mile
make an
run.
example out
Yeah.
of by
Yeah.
getting a whole herd mentality by
Yeah.
going after the one person and then
Well,
so yeah, I get it.
There's
no, it's I have the issue. I went through. It didn't really happen with me in the Corps because we didn't have female Marines. The closest ones
Yeah.
were way up at headquarters, like in Okinawa or back in Pendleton. And you didn't see them on the island really.
Sure, yeah.
And occasionally they made 1 or 2 down to supply battalion, not even at the local regiment level.
Mhm.
But then, as I got out and the contractor, he saw it within the federal service, EEO and sexual harassment just went rampant. And I think it should and could be nipped in the bud across all services
Mm-hmm.
because nobody's rewarded for
treating and taking care of it, right?
Yeah.
If an incident happens
That's
under
true.
commander, that commander's fired.
Yeah.
So he's then taught, right, through dogmatic training, don't let it get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
Right.
yeah, you're more apt if you're a female Marine or a male Marine and harassed to go to, like, the public's, go see your sheriff, go see the police department.
Yeah.
Because if it's reported within the Corps, the Air Force, or the Navy,
You don't
those
get.
commanders are treated to not have incidences.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not rewarded for not having an incident.
But they used to, and I think that changed the
Yeah.
whole spectrum of things. Because back in our day, back in our
Yeah.
time when we were in,
Yeah.
the whole concept was to try to keep it in house,
Mm-hmm.
take care of it at your level the best you can,
Yeah.
and try to mitigate things. But because of that, and exactly what you're saying,
Mhm.
what it became to now, and nowadays it is actually happening, is these commanders and stuff don't want. They're like, nope. If I even catch a wind of this,
Nope.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a tight
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah,
Nobody says a
we're
word.
locked down. We're locking it all
Yeah.
down, and
Yeah.
and then of course that's because of that mass punishment thing. Because
Yeah.
now everybody's getting punished.
Yep.
So no, I agree with you. It has come to that. We don't police up after ourselves anymore. And then when you know what the sad part was is I used to try to do that still.
Because even the policing is a record of something happening.
Yeah.
Right,
Right?
Yeah,
right.
definitely. Yeah.
There's
Right.
Yeah, no record is the best record. That's not.
And
right.
that's not necessarily true too. But
No,
yes,
but that's
yeah,
not
I
how it's supposed to
agree.
work.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's not boot camp.
Right.
Boot camp is fail for 13 weeks until you were granted
Right.
and
Right.
accepted
There was
to the
no-
brotherhood or sisterhood, whatever you
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's your job.
There
You're
was
supposed
no
to trip.
zero tolerance. You know
No.
now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't do push-ups. You're getting IT'd. You can't do this. You're getting like you're failing until you become
Till you
a
succeed.
Marine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then
yeah.
once you're in the fleet, it's never fail again. Don't let
Yeah.
everything
Right.
bad
That's
happen.
zero
Don't
tolerance.
You
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
you make even a mistake, we
Yeah.
got you, man.
Yeah.
And it's true. That's a true statement.
Right.
Yeah, it does come down to that.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these guys now. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some guys, even in the higher ranks, doing some really stupid things now. But at the same time, you know, you start. That's indicative of exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that lower level, they could have probably squashed that
Yeah.
if they would have
Or
kept
corrected
the
that
team.
action.
Yeah,
and let
corrected
them
it.
do
Remy
you know?
did, or done something to that effect.
Mhm.
Vice, you know, Vice just I hate it nowadays because they are nothing but about burning the dude.
What's some of that, and you know, this bleeds into the issues I have, and you know, just with the overweight. Like I
Oh yeah.
always hated it. The idea was like you never walked in the armory and saw one weapon. Like the Corps is
Right.
filled with every
Yeah.
like in MCT. I carry the 50 cal receiver
Right.
right on our force marches. Who's doing that if everybody's 5'8" and 140?
Well, you
Yeah.
know,
It's like
right.
who's doing the
But
A
you know,
bag
though-
and the extra?
Here's one thing I
barrel?
will say: they got better with. You know, yes, they do have the body fat, you know, and all that stuff. Actually, got a lot better with it now. If you ever start looking at Marines, man, they're
Yeah.
starting to. They finally made it to where, I think you be at 20%. But in order to be at 20%, you have to have a first class PFT, understandably, right?
Yep.
And then on top of that, I forgot what it is.
I'm sure it's form and fit.
There's like a different measurement
Yeah.
that they go off of. So
But
you're
it's
starting to
also-
get a lot of these like pretty swelled
The
out
culture has
dudes.
changed, and the
Right.
knowledge of physical fitness
Oh yeah,
and
well the
nutrition
protein
is,
versus
all of that
nutrition,
is
all
actually
that stuff.
changed versus right when I started or you
Oh yeah,
started. It was
absolutely, and
yeah.
they've actually adjusted to the height weight now.
yeah.
So
Oh, good.
because
Yeah.
I mean you got guys like yourselves that are,
Yeah.
you know, pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I was 160, dude, when I retired. So what does that tell you? I was like, at the end, I was fighting it because
Yeah,
I
but
was.
what are
at
you going
that-
to do in a
that
tank
max.
battalion? Not that they exist anymore, but
Yeah.
artillery or mortarmen.
Well-
Who's carrying around mortarmen? Or we
Yeah.
just don't need them anymore.
Oh,
Right? we just don't need.
right. Well, who knows, man?
Exactly.
They're changing the core
We're
up
just-
like
yeah.
it's
the drone's going to have our
crazy right
back
now.
all the time. Is that what
Exactly.
it? Just a bunch of predators, and the rest of us can just be basic riflemen.
Yeah.
right? Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, that changes. Dude, the dynamics of the core is changing, even to where we were speaking now.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and I go back, like I said, I grew up in it. My uncles, my dad, and like born in Hawaii at K-Bay and lived in.
You're born
still
in
have-
K. You said K-Bay? You
I
were
was born at Tripler Army Medical Center.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
right. That's a
yeah.
little off of K-Bay.
Well, no, yeah, this is the
But
only
that's,
hospital on the island.
that's over by North Shore,
yeah.
right?
And then you know, raised in Lejeune, but I mean, you hear it. I heard it all the time I was growing up. Right, this is a different core. It's not the core I like.
Yeah, it's always different for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
like my dad got butt stroked in the face in boot camp. I know. You know, when I came in, they were, you know, as I was leaving the Marine Corps, red cards were being issued at boot
Oh
camp.
yeah,
and
because you went in '98. But yeah, '90.
Yeah,
I think
then-
'96 is when they started to really crack down. That's when that no hazing stuff.
Oh yeah,
Because the jump
the
wings
taps
and all
the
that
jump
stuff,
wings and the,
that's when
yeah.
it all started coming
Yeah.
out. Like it started to go
Like I was
sideways.
one of the first ones in the Crucible. You know, they thought that was a joke, and then now it's just standard.
I still got my honor courage commitment card. I can pull it out.
Yeah.
I have it in my wallet right
I
now.
got mine too. I mean, you know, it's funny. I was going through the boxes out in my garage, and I was like, "Oh my god, my honor courage commitment card! I
Yeah.
still have this thing." Yeah, you know, and because what I ended up doing was, like for me in '90, I think what year was that? '90? Yeah, it was '98 because I was no, '99. It was '99 because I was with First LAR,
Mm.
and they were starting to go, well, you know, you guys got to do Crucible too. We're like, what? So they made us do like this 2-day op and go through this so we could earn our honor courage commitment cards,
Gotcha.
so that we were like on par with all the Marines that went to the Crucible.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So we can talk smack to each other kind of thing.
Yeah.
But hey, it was all cool. I mean, it was
Yeah.
cool. It was a little camaraderie there, so people could, you
Yeah.
know, not be like, oh, I went to the Crucible, you
Yeah,
didn't,
it's a
you
fun
know, or
evolution.
whatever.
I mean, but it's just
Yeah.
a rite of passage. They had the same.
Yeah,
they had
exactly.
Field Week,
Yeah.
right when the older generation went through, so it's nothing
Oh,
different. Yeah.
The only difference is that I mean,
They gave
that,
it a name and they made it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that
put
they
it-
give you a blue up and anchor now. You actually
Yep.
you have to wear that on your uniform, which I think you could anyway because you can't really take it off the utilities
Yeah.
at that point. But you know, I guess they
Yeah.
give you the actual one for your uniform for your
Your
Yeah.
your alphas or
Yeah.
your
Yeah. No,
So-
I still have that one.
Yeah, they gave you that on the Thursday, right, the day before you graduate.
Yep. So
Yeah. See, for me, I at the top of
I
the
think they
hill, at
changed
the end
it.
of the
Yeah, they
cruise.
ch-
Yeah.
they
We
changed
hike up
that.
the hill that morning of.
Yeah.
And then you're given, and they start calling you private PFC,
Mhm.
and then you have the commander's breakfast where they're feeding you
Yeah.
a chow, right? And
right, and I think it was right
Yeah,
at the
and then
end
you
of
got
second
1 week
phase
of-
to go to third phase.
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere they started doing
Well,
some adjustments.
when
Yeah.
when I went through, they gave you your dog tags at the top, and then you
Oh, okay.
didn't get your EGA until the ceremony the day before.
Did they originally do? Didn't they do one or two where they started giving out McMat belts at one point? I think they did at one point.
Yeah, no, because I went through the Corps.
Yeah.
I did line
Yeah.
training and McNabb.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I did line training up until like the last year, and then
Yeah.
they started McMap, and I went through all of that. And
Yeah.
It was just funny because I grew up doing Taekwondo and
Right.
Kempo, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, this is old hat.
Yeah.
Because line training
Right.
never helped anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was pretty. It was good
It was
to an
good.
extent.
It was
Yeah.
good for the
To an
basics.
extent. Yeah,
I
for
mean,
the
But
basics, absolutely.
I think the fundamental difference between line training and McMap is the time you actually did the training. Line
Yes.
training was like gas map. Oh, we're gonna go in here. See,
Yeah.
Well,
being-
unless you were in, like artillery or
well, see,
infantry.
but being in artillery, I had an NBC officer,
Yep.
and I did
Oh, my
force
goodness.
marches.
Yep.
I did boots and utes to a gas chamber and then back. Like I,
Yeah.
Yep.
I lived in a gas chamber. I literally
Oh,
walk
yeah.
around because
I
I've had
think-
enough CS gas.
They just,
Yeah.
I think that whoever was there just loved the torture, man. That's
Oh,
what it
yeah.
is. Hey, you know what? Let's watch these guys blow snot out their ears.
Yeah.
Well, but it also comes from that's the in the training for
Right.
what artillery is.
Mhm.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
If you're gonna attack a artillery unit,
Oh, yeah.
it better be with some right.
Yeah. Something that's going to disable the whole unit.
Yeah.
It's something
exactly.
you're not just gonna run in on them.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? It better be indirect fire or something.
But
Yeah.
you that or you got to get the whole line of people in front of you. So
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, because every single buddy within the command, if you're not on a gun, you're on a crew serve weapon.
Yeah.
Right.
Like my M16 stayed in the rack half the time because I either got a Mark 19, I got a 50 cal, I'm carrying the Golf around.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit about this small arms?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody has crew serve weapons because we're just backing up 155.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, even as a 4000, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I got a 50 cal, I'm good.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I just circle back around. You brought up all the expensive equipment. Like,
Right.
Up above me, I mean, the guns alone are millions of dollars.
Yeah.
AEM,
Oh, yeah.
in AEM, right, artillery electronics maintenance.
Mhm.
There's cards for doing artillery and calls of fires that's $300,000 themselves.
Dude, I can,
Yeah.
I
Like
can
I'm
relate
wearing,
to you. Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
wearing a grounding strap to replace them because I don't want to. Right,
Yeah.
static electricity will literally cost the Corps $500,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm not trusted to live outside of the
Yeah.
base
But
and
somebody-
report to work at time.
Right.
Somebody has to inspect my car,
Yes.
but I can't. But I can fire $500,000 of equipment.
Yeah.
But this NCO has to make sure that my oil's changed.
Yeah.
Like-
And I have a $30,000 note on a car that a company will let me sign.
Yeah, I
with
can
my
do
signature.
Yeah.
Right, but the guy inspecting it doesn't have the credit to qualify for the car I just bought.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, on top of that too. I mean, really think about it. It's crazy. I mean, I had my own comm shop back in 05. I can relate to your stuff. So I had all that comm gear and I had millions of dollars of equipment.
Yep.
But what's funny is when you think about it, when we got out, I mean, none of that translated to any other job other than yours obviously did. But an infantry guy like me, I mean, I had millions of dollars of equipment. I mean, ran battalions and companies and everything else, and that's a lot of assets, right? But that didn't translate to anything I've done when I got out.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it can. You just have to.
Right. No, I'm just saying, but
you
like
want to
for
go
me-
into warehouse management,
Right,
or you want to
right.
do
Yeah.
something else for a
No,
facility.
I mean,
but,
yeah.
I
But
mean,
I'm just saying.
modern
though,
age, none of that's going to transfer.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, nothing's really made in this country anymore. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to warehouse manage? A bunch of virtual employees and their laptops?
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, that's true too.
Right?
But I'm just saying in general. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot. Like for me, working in a prison, for example. Here I am at this, but I'm back at square one, back at the bottom,
Yeah.
doing everything else. It's like, oh no, you're not. We don't want you to be in charge of nothing. You don't.
Nice.
What do you know about that? You know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's like, so I'm just regular CO guy. But
Yeah.
the thing, and I'm not complaining. I didn't want it. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's funny because people used to be like, "Hey, how come you don't want to be in charge of stuff?" I'm like, "Do you realize how many years I was in charge of people?"
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to. I want to be like American Beauty, where old boy's like, I'm just gonna work a fast food job just so I get fired. Just because to see what it's like. Just to live, live free and.
Well, it's not, even my limited 4 years in the Corps and, all the contracting I've done around it, I take a bunch of little things from it, and that's what I appreciate it. And I still, like, me being in charge is a lot different than you that have never done anything being in charge.
Right.
Like, and I've ran into it time and time again. Like, I was the VP of one of my rugby clubs, and I instilled some things, and people, what, we're going to do desktop manuals and procedures and this, that, and the other. I'm like, yeah, that's what it means to be in charge. That's what it means to run an organization. You need to know how to do your job and articulate it if you get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? Then you need to develop some SOPs and manuals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we got to have some structural organization in terms of how you do things.
Yeah, but it's just not common out there. Like, there's various
Oh, yeah.
things like CMMI and a bunch of other standards that companies try to use, but it's just not instilled the way it is.
Right.
Oh
yeah. No, I agree totally. Yeah. I mean, it's a different world out there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what kind of getting at. So
Yeah.
I mean, even if you regardless of what your experience, you get out there.
No, it's a benefit
Things
for
run
anybody,
different.
and I think you can take it from any service. It doesn't just have to be the Marine Corps.
Oh no,
I'm
absolutely.
definitely biased, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if
right?
you,
I mean, there's a good reason for it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Oh,
it's just, it was a good time.
Which is good. And so here's some questions for you that we normally ask people.
Sure.
So the first one we normally ask, and this is, what was your best experience you could possibly think of? Like your best day while you were serving.
Yeah.
What would you classify as?
Yeah.
I know, it's tough. Sometimes.
Yeah, no. So like I said, my career was basically about work. So I'm assuming it's probably back in boot camp, being meritorious promoted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually
That's
a big accomplishment. I was a squad leader for a day.
Yeah.
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 I didn't want it, of course. I was like,
Yeah.
They get changed out dime a dozen.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
dude.
I've done some other fun stuff. Like, like I said, I did PTA for 9 times, and not once did we have like internet and communication in the field. And I brought it down from Radio Battalion. Like,
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, why are we sitting out? We used to go out to the field, right? We'd be out there 45 days.
Yeah.
And you work as a 4,000, you're in the comm company, right? So there's broken radios, broken artillery equipment, both this, that, and the other. Well, traditionally, in my time, everything that got broken just got put in a van until you can get back to base.
Yeah.
And then you started working the aero cards to repair it versus bringing down communications. All right, now let's set up a maintenance shop on the base in field and start repairing this equipment and cataloging it and order the repairs so that when we get home, the replacements are already there.
Yeah.
Versus getting back and doing 6 months of work just to clean
Just
up
to
from
figure
going
it
to
out.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Smart thing to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's small
definitely.
things like that.
That's a good accomplishment, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
good on you, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just I got married towards corporal, but that was years later, and I was like, and I still didn't want it at that
Yeah.
point. But then after that, I accepted it and started being in charge. But yeah, that's just my story, though. But we've already heard everybody's.
I got meritorious promoted PFC and Lance Corporal.
Nice.
Because I took it like a job and I
Yep.
was always in charge. I had 4.9 on my 4.9s on my ranking until I got my car accident. Then I couldn't PT because I broke my collarbone, so I couldn't do pull-ups. I could do like 4 pull-ups, so I had a broken collarbone, and I mean that's just how it was, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean I got meritorious promoted twice, but I still got treated like trash.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sucks, man. Yeah, good accomplishment though. At least
Yeah.
you get
Well, I
able
mean,
to do that.
It does pretty fuck
Maybe-
all now, you know.
Right,
like,
man, but still, you know,
Yeah.
at least you got it there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
PT'd, 5 days a week.
Yeah, I did too,
And,
yeah.
and twice on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I ran a PFT every Saturday. I literally ran 30 plus miles a week.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And
yeah, I had a PT every day. I usually sat around 225.
Yeah.
I just couldn't, like, I wasn't gonna starve myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. You know, like,
No.
but I ran a first class PFT before my car accident, and
Nice.
then I ran a low second class because I couldn't do pull ups
Yeah.
for afterwards. But that's when they started doing the CFT,
Yep.
first class CFT. I mean, just because it takes,
Yeah, I wish I could have done the CFT.
And
Pull ups have always been my weakest. I just
Yeah.
can't pull
Oh, yeah.
myself up. But
Yeah.
Well, just to make you feel any better, man. I did the testing for that. So
Oh,
all
we
the-
did
all
the
that,
testing
all
too,
that
yeah.
data, all that data that came out when because they
Nice.
went to School of Infantry and used that as
Yeah.
their kind of their marker.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all had to take it, so I was one of the older guys there. So yeah, so for all you old people out there, yeah, you're welcome.
Nice.
yeah, it was. I mean, honestly, I think the Marine Corps definitely should go towards a more combat-oriented physical fitness test because, like, hey, it's great to do pull-ups, but I mean, if you're in combat or whatever and you're wearing a full load,
Oh yeah.
like,
I mean, I personally would rather see, running the obstacle course for time.
sure, yeah,
Would be
Right.
more functional.
yeah.
than,
Well, doing
you know,
CFTs and stuff
pull-ups.
like that
Yeah.
too. Like,
I'm quite fine with 3 miles. That's a great standard.
Yeah.
I mean, or extended. I personally always excelled farther.
Yeah.
Like I could run 5, 6, 10 miles.
Yeah.
Just as a bigger guy. Once
Yeah.
you get your cardio developed, I can go as long as I
Yeah, like
fucking
a-
want.
Oh,
Like you
yeah.
can put up with
Yeah.
the pain and you can endure it, right? Yeah.
once you get about a mile, you just kind of in that mindset.
You're just in
like,
the stride.
I always felt
Yeah.
like I always told people because I ran like a 20-30 was like my
Yeah.
fastest.
Okay.
And I was like, once I get going, I'm a Mack truck. You get out of my way. I'm not going to stop for you.
Yeah.
Like when people would be running in front of me and they would kind of like veer or whatever, I would yell, move,
Yeah.
move or else, you know?
Yeah, I'm not wasting energy.
Exactly.
right?
I've always hated running. I always liked going on humps.
Yeah.
That was great. Throw
Yeah,
a pack on. I'm great at
Oh,
that.
easily.
yeah.
Yeah. Doing
But
a crest or
running, I never enjoyed it. So I was always like, look, get out,
get it over.
get
with.
out of my way. Like nobody has rank on and I'm looking at you from behind. Like if you don't move, it's
Right.
your ass. Like
Nice.
Right.
we can talk about it afterwards, but
Yeah.
like I'm just in that mentality,
Nice.
where you want me to succeed, you better help. Don't hinder me. And
Yeah, and I still like the sit-ups. I still do crunches.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, this is just, it's core.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
As Arnold says, if you're not doing 200 sit-ups in the morning, I can't help you.
yeah,
Right.
he's
Yeah.
still. I mean, he doesn't look as good as he used to, but he still
No.
looks in good shape.
Yeah.
I mean,
For his age,
it's
man.
hard-
I mean,
well,
good,
I mean,
we're
I
all
started
gonna
my
at
kids
some
on. I
point-
got an 8-year-old and 10-year-old out there, and
Yeah.
I started just because of this lockdown, right? And I'm
Right.
doing home gym. Like,
Nice.
so I take them down, I mess around with the kettlebells in the basement, but every morning is, I want 30 sit-ups every 30 days.
Yeah.
So every morning it's 30 crunches of 30 sit-ups and
Good
just
deal.
a 6-pack on an 8-year-old. Like,
Right.
yeah, just
Nice.
yeah.
Well, at
it's
least
just-
kids get kids involved in it.
Yeah,
You know,
man,
that's
go-
good.
Yeah, you find an old man and ask him to do a sit-up, you'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, you're like, oh god.
You'll you'll see and hear a lot of things that you
Exactly,
don't
right?
want.
It's
Yeah.
just that core strength is,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't mind doing some laps around the fridge.
Well, but that goes back to like what's lost with the pull-ups versus the obstacle course or something, right? Just that
Yeah.
functional core
Well, I
strength.
mean, back in the day, I thought it was kind of cool because we could kip. I mean, you really think about it. You put all your
Yes.
gear on, and you could use that
You-
extra momentum to get up.
oh no,
Got it.
yeah.
I mean, well, heck, then
But
put
the
on
dead
gear.
arm just
But
pull
the
up.
dead arm just hang. There's no function. There's
Well,
no
no,
function.
it goes back to.
It was supposed to be
during
to get over the obstacles for
Yeah.
stuff, but you can't tell me you can't use any momentum
I
getting
mean,
over
but
the
if you
obstacles.
look at the power lifters or bodybuilders of the day, like
Oh, yeah.
a dead arm pull up is equivalent to a squat.
Yeah.
Like that's
Right.
what it's a deadlift of the upper body.
Right.
Right. And
Yeah.
somebody of our stature.
Yeah.
do-
Well, yeah, definitely.
It's a lot of weight.
It's-
You're in the benefit of the only time you ever saw a first sergeant or somebody else suffering is one of those basketball players that had to move like 3
Yeah.
feet.
Oh, right.
But the power to weight of, oh yeah, you can do 100 pull-ups because you only weigh 90 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, carry this 80-pound pack for me.
Yeah, and that's
right.
I always try
Or
to.
you do the fireman's carry, and I'm like,
Oh,
you get to
yeah,
match
no
up.
problem.
How come you get to match up? I don't get to pick the shorter bar,
Yeah,
right? You
exactly.
pick up any Marine, get assigned to you. Oh wait, it doesn't work in that favor.
Yeah.
That's the part that I was always good at. That fireman's carrying and doing
Yeah.
all that stuff. I mean, I could hike, do all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull-ups was always my weak point, especially after I tore my shoulder out, had to have it reconstructed,
Yeah.
and it never came back the same. In fact, I could have gotten out of the Marine Corps for that.
Yeah.
It's one of those like really few injuries.
Yeah.
And then I toughed it out, man. I was always now. Did I get treated like crap? Oh, I got treated like crap.
Yeah.
Because here I am a sergeant, and they're like, dude, you're a sergeant doing 10 pull-ups. What the heck?
Yeah, see, that's another thing I took with me is
Yeah.
I let go of the before the Corps thing.
Oh,
I mean, I
man.
love the
Yeah.
Corps. But no, I've carried that on with me, and it's helped me a lot. Like, I don't work.
Yeah.
You company X don't care about me.
Yeah. Oh.
Right.
I'm here for you, right?
Mhm.
The Corps doesn't care about me, right? That's
Yeah.
the burden of command, and that's what those commanders are there for. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna get everything I can out of the Marine Corps, and when I can't get enough, and it's not worth what
Yeah.
I'm giving in,
Mhm.
I'm done.
That's
And for me, I reached that at 4 years, and I'm okay with that. I've never regretted getting out,
yeah.
and I know a ton of Marines and that kind of do.
Yeah.
I'm like, again, that personal decision to go in is a personal decision to go out.
Yeah.
And there are
absolutely.
many that sit in way too long.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
you've given this Corps way too much,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and right, and we
Yeah.
all know what the VA is
Well,
going to do
yeah.
for you when you get out.
Well, some
That's-
people just don't realize that expiration date, man.
They
Just
don't,
like they don't
yeah.
they don't check that expiration date like
Yeah.
you do, and they just keep drinking the milk.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I
And-
understand that 16 to 18 years. Like, look, dude, you're almost there.
Do it.
Down, you just suck
Yeah.
it up, and right.
Yeah.
Forget Master Sergeant or whatever you're looking at. Get
Mhm.
your reward for your service, what
Yeah.
you and your family
And
and
put
your
into
life have sacrificed. But at the 4, 6, 8 years,
Mhm.
yeah, no, whatever, dude. If they keep
Do-
sending
do
you
what you
back
do.
to Pendleton or
Right.
making you, what'd you have to do? Like
What's that?
halfway, 29 palms? How many times?
Oh god,
Like,
that's my end of
like
my
literally,
career.
that would, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like 3 times in a
Yeah,
row.
the
Yeah.
F you. Yeah, no.
Well, no, the one time, and since you brought it up,
Yeah.
I was in Afghanistan with an advisor team,
Mm-hmm.
and the monitors came out, and I sit down in front of the monitor, and my time's getting ready to be up, and he's like, "All right," and I was a gunny at the time. He's like, "Hey," and so I sit in front of him, and he goes, "All right, looks like it's about time for you to rotate. Where you want to go?" And I'm like, "I'm not sure why you're asking me this, but if you're gonna give me the option, and so I'll go anywhere you want, except if you do me a favor, I don't want to go back to 29 Palms."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's the only thing I'm asking."
Anywhere,
And,
right?
and so and I'm wearing the shirt right now, which is actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he goes, "All right, it's going to be either I forgot the name of that unit that's out there, the one that does all the live fire training out in 29 Palms,
Mhm.
the one that all the CAXs are a part of. I forgot
Yeah.
the name of it.
Yeah.
It was either that unit or advisor training group. That's all he said. And I'm sitting there like, "Well, where are these at? 29 Palms?" I was like, well, "I just wanted to hit that dude, man, so
Yeah.
bad."
you
had
can't
no
go
idea.
to another MEF. You can't go to
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
Go
yeah.
overseas. I mean,
go to Quantico. Send me to the
gave
schoolhouse
option.
and let me do weapons training
Oh,
battalion.
trust me,
Whatever,
man. I was
whatever.
and that's how it was.
That's
like so,
BS.
what sucks is the higher up you got, the less choice you got. Most people don't get that. So if you decide to make this a career,
Yeah.
especially as a staff NCO or and particularly officers in this case, but either one of them, man, you have no choice in your career.
Yeah.
Because what happens is it's like you're going here or you're going here. Pick one, or I'm picking
Yeah.
it for you, and you're like. So I said, I chose advisor training group. Now don't get me wrong. Probably one of the best units. Still my favorite unit to this day.
Yeah.
I love advisor training
Nice.
group. And if they would have kept it going, they didn't shut it down. Probably would have stayed with them and kept it going. But
Yeah.
a couple. I left there, and like a year or two later, they shut down. So
Mhm.
they were. I mean, it was just cost so much to run their training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that I sat in front of a monitor, and the
Yeah.
monitor's like, "Nah, you're going here."
In Afghan. Right?
Oh yeah, in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I'm finishing my
Yeah.
Afghanistan deployment.
Yeah.
and then get ready to go back, and you're just like, oh, you got kidding me?
Yeah. And you got Marines sitting at wherever that have never even done a tour.
No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or that or just whatever.
Mhm.
But you think about how huge my MOS group is.
Yes.
It's like you really can't find a
Tell
place
me
for me.
O3s
Anywhere.
can't be shuffled
Right.
anywhere.
Oh yeah,
Because they
yeah.
can.
They're all
Oh,
over
absolutely.
the
I
place.
don't
You would think that'd be the easiest one to do.
The whole point of the Corps is like literally that's what the recruiter does. You want to
Yeah.
go see the ocean. You want to do this. You want to
Yeah.
go oversee. Go. That's
Right.
it. And it's
Yeah.
fine that they get stuck now. I don't know if this probably goes back. It probably is a financial decision, which is just hurting the Corps even more.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Right.
if we have to PCS you and your family from California to the East Coast, it costs X amount of money. Let's just save.
That's what a
dollars.
lot of it comes to.
See, and you're just
Yeah.
watering
Well-
down the Corps because you're creating these silos of
Yeah.
Japan versus Europe versus East versus
Right.
West Coast, and you're
Yeah.
not getting that
Right.
mixture that is the nation and our Corps.
Yeah. But there's also another element to that too, and most people don't know that. So one, you had the, it's not what you know, it's who you knew.
Yeah,
So if you were buddies with that guy, you get hooked up, and that's what it was. Those guys. So
Yeah.
he would hook up his buddies, hook up
but it's
that.
funny because we were just talking about this
Yeah.
before this, right? Like promotion boards are
Yep.
now going
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
local,
Yeah.
right? No more photos, no more.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So I just got to pay off the board,
Yeah.
or I got to be buddies with them, right?
Well, yeah.
If
When
I'm
somebody's on the board.
a bunch of gunnies, a bunch of staff
yeah.
sergeants, right,
Mhm.
this sergeant.
Yeah, who
Trust
knows?
me.
It's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Something's gonna happen.
Trust me,
Well,
as a
there's gonna be a lot of-
22-year-old Marine
Yeah.
that was a PFC, I spent a lot of time partying with gunnies and staff sergeants
Yeah.
because they started at 17. We
Yeah.
were all the same age. We all related. We were all married. It was real. I was over at their house
Mhm.
calling them by their first names when we weren't at the shop because we're
Yeah.
all the same level of maturity in men.
Yeah.
Right.
Just because we put on the uniform doesn't make us not men.
I
Right.
turned
It's
I turned 21 in boot camp, so I
Yeah.
know exactly how that was. I would have sergeants come up and be like, "Hey, can I get this stays between
Get a
us,
six-pack or
but can
whatever.
I get some advice?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Sure, what's up?" And they're like, "Well, like I'm turning 21 or 22," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I've been there before,
Yeah, yeah.
And it's those things where you might come up different in the Marine Corps at different rates,
Yeah.
but your maturity level
Yeah, that's
is
true.
definitely comes with a certain age
Oh, it's
with
hilarious.
with
Like,
a lot of people.
Well, just in
I-
general, yeah.
Yeah.
It hit me right when I got to 3rd Battalion. When I was at 3rd Marines, I was like, yeah, I'm going to call for my TMO move. And everybody's looking at me like, what? I'm like, yeah, every Marine, I'm going to get my shit from home brought
Yeah.
to Hawaii.
Right.
You got kids that are 17 from Ohio, didn't know they can have their stuff
Yeah.
brought to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they just don't have the maturity to ask and realize what you're rated in the Corps.
Exactly.
Right.
I always used to tell people
You
that
get 500 pounds as a single Marine. I got
Yeah.
a ton of shit that
Oh,
was
yeah.
my personal stuff brought to the barracks.
I
Yeah.
can't remember what mine was.
Yeah,
Dude. It was
and
a lot
you-
of stuff.
But the barracks is filled with people buying new stuff. Like,
Right.
dude, you got a house full of
I got new
things
stuff
back
at
home.
home. Yeah.
Right.
I always
Yeah.
used to tell people like the Marine Corps is going to get whatever they can out of you. Period.
So get what you
So
can.
so take what you can from the Marine Corps. Like your back hurts, go to medical.
Mhm.
You wake up and you got the runs. Well, go to medical.
Yeah.
Like don't let those people get in your mind like, oh look at this guy, he just keeps going over there, or like
Yeah.
talking about getting your stuff brought out. You
Yeah.
know, ruffling feathers is different than getting what you're owed.
Well, it's like great quote. You ever watched the program, right? Are you hurt? Or are you injured?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, suck it up.
Yeah.
Versus,
Right.
this shit hurts.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Get it. That's
Yeah.
where you're rated.
Exactly.
Right.
Get your molars taken out. Don't just sit there and deal with a toothache.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Go,
Yeah.
You're paid for it. Or
Like,
but-
they're paying
but
for it, yeah.
You're not paid for it because all that money goes to your dental. So go get dental.
Use it while you can. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But I think people looked at me differently because I was always like, they tell me something like that,
Mhm.
hey, I'm having chronic, they come and let me know they're having an
Yeah.
injury, and I'm like, dude, go get it checked out.
Yeah.
And they're like, look at me like, no, dude, you know
Yeah.
what? If you don't do that now, I told them, like, back when I was younger, I hurt my back. You know what? Guess what record is on that? Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now if I try to do this when I get out, it's not going to do me any good if I don't go report it.
Yeah.
Well, you
So-
can,
Yeah.
you can. I mean, not to turn this back on
No,
negativity,
no,
but
no, but
no,
I
but I
mean-
mean, if you've been in any unit, how much importance is paid on the TE? Right, your
Right.
table equipment is more important than your table of operators.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody is really looking at the power of the unit because
Yeah.
you can just go get another recruit. Right, people are joining the Corps left and right.
Yeah.
Right,
Mm.
you bear. I don't you don't see a lot of units with a lot of empty billets. There's
Yeah.
always somebody filling the billet, whether they're good or bad.
Unless you're third Marines.
Yeah. But that table of equipment, I guarantee if something's missing that's Mars reportable is getting replaced immediately.
Even
instantly.
one piece of gear. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right?
You know, it
Shut
takes out
down
one
an
piece of
enti-
gear.
All of Pendleton can be shut down for one pair of MVGs.
Right.
Oh, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
How long does it take for
Oh
a
my
missing
God, don't even bring
Marine
that
to
up.
walk to death in 29 Palms?
Right.
3-4 days, nobody gave a damn because he was the last guy on a.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Like,
Exactly.
know?
The value that the military, not just the Marine Corps, but the military itself
general.
puts on the individual service member is lower than they put on the equipment,
yes.
because they can quantify the equipment at a certain dollar value,
Yes.
where the service member is is very replaceable.
Yeah, I would tweak that and say that they have quantified it.
Oh,
the
yeah.
the value of the individual,
It's
and
a
it's
lot-
less than
it's a lot lower.
pieces of equipment.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
there's
should hold
certain-
you accountable. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's nuts.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Well, especially when you can always throw blame to something else. You can't blame an inanimate object either.
No.
So it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, we can blame that guy though.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, he's the one that was
We
issued
can
to.
blame his leadership, blame this or that or the other. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, that makes sense. So, you want to go to the second part of this? You want to ask the question? Or you want me to?
Well, I was gonna ask. So you did do a couple deployments
that.
as a civilian, correct?
Oh yes.
Where did you go?
Oh, I've been to
There you
all
go.
over Iraq several
Yeah.
times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Basra, Kuwait. Been to Al Taqaddum, TQ.
Uh,
Been to up north Ramadi. I've been all over
Yeah.
that.
Sounds kind of like my
Beautiful
deployment.
country.
Yeah, sounds just like my deployment.
I think beautiful is like not a.
I thought we weren't getting political.
Hey, nothing political. That's, I'm just talking about perception here. My
Well.
perception, nothing beautiful about that place.
Beauty's in the eye of the.
Then
beer
again, I
holder.
did turn one of those cities into a parking lot.
Yep,
So
yep.
Yeah. What were some of the cooler things that you saw while you're deployed? I know being a contractor, you were just kind of you didn't go out and do like you didn't rock and roll and shit. But
Oh no, I
you
was
know,
with one MEF my first trip. That was my funnest deployment with
Okay.
first MLG.
It was some cool stuff
TQ.
that you can talk about. Oh, I hate TQ. Ugh, it's basically Camp Pendleton in Iraq.
Yeah,
It's insane.
yeah, but we built a baseball park. We built a volleyball net.
I rest my case.
Yep,
We're in a
yes.
third world country and you're building base. I mean,
because we're riddled with contractors. I
Yeah.
played poker with my paycheck.
Yeah.
Like we had a good time in TQ.
Yeah.
I mean, we made the best of war, and but
oh sure.
I've also ducked some incoming, and I've
Yeah.
had lost buddies.
while watching the movie in
Yeah.
your really the
Yeah,
bunker.
I wouldn't.
concrete
I mean, I'm not trying to Hollywoodize it, and we didn't
Sure,
have
sure.
spas and shit. This is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
green zone, but it was
Yeah.
it wasn't like I said. It's like prison.
Yeah.
Occasionally you got somebody trying to jump you in the yard in the
Yeah.
form of an inbound,
Yeah.
and the rest of the time you're eating chow and going to the gym and sleeping.
Yeah. Definitely.
Then you get your small wins. You're playing poker, or you're hanging out. You're getting internet in occasionally, right? Every now and then you get to make a phone call. But
Yeah.
yeah, this was back in 06 and 07. So cellular networks weren't as best as they are.
Yeah.
You basically had SPAY-WAR spanning up those MWR nets.
Right.
Yeah.
Occasionally you would
Right.
get something decent. As a
Yeah.
comm guy, I could get the internet I needed.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I knew that if I just pushed through to outside of River City, whenever nobody's on the network, I'm gonna get. what
God, I
I
hate
want
that
to.
word,
Yeah.
especially on ship.
Yeah.
River City was the worst word. We're in River City. Oh, damn it.
Yes.
No internet.
Yeah, but back to the point, I always valued that somebody lost their life when that was pushing around. So somebody made the sacrifice. It wasn't just
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
my network. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it wasn't even that. I remember we went to River City for other reasons too.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Just
no, it
stupidity.
sucked when people did get killed and
Yeah.
you did that, and it's understandable because you don't
Yeah.
want to. Because you got you do have some idiots out there that'll like, hey, let me contact the family before they've even been notified.
Well,
and I
where
get that.
I was in TQ
Which I've
right
seen it
next
happen,
to.
by the way.
I forgot
yeah.
what they're called. The recovery unit.
For
Or,
what kind of recovery unit?
like body parts, bring it, whatever.
Oh yeah, no, the mortuary affairs
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. Yeah, so it was just sombering every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is when, especially when you're like, it's somebody you know,
Yeah.
and then you're like, hey, we still on for like poker tonight.
Yeah, it's
And then-
definitely
Next thing you know, you're like, hey,
just in the back of the head. You move right on. You can't.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, some of the cool. I had some of my best times in the Corps were probably as a contractor.
yeah,
I've done some cool stuff as a contractor. Like I flew home on a C-130 with the SEAL team
Hmm.
as a contractor. So it was
just hanging out.
Nice.
I mean, you've been on a C-130, right?
Yeah.
You ever sat on one with 5 other people? And just
Absolutely not.
lay down on the rack, right? It's the
No.
best,
Yeah.
dude. It's more comfortable than any commercial flight you ever be on.
Yeah.
There's an
Right.
entire cargo net of chairs where there ain't 30 people left and right of you.
Yeah.
You just
Oh.
lay right out.
I
And
bet
it's
it.
loud.
Yeah, it is, but you know, you just
Yeah.
you've been on one, yeah.
I bet
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I bet it smelt nice in there
Yeah,
too. Like
I also blacked out on one because I was
No air conditioning.
full
Yeah.
blown.
So you just smell wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were coming
Well-
in from Kuwait into Baghdad, full, like 8 pallets,
Yeah.
full bird, and we're doing evasive maneuvers because some asshole's shooting at us. So
Yeah.
you're at a 130-degree temperature, banking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pulled some G's, blacked out, came back. I was like, hey, whatever. Never done that
Yeah.
before.
It's like riding in a track.
Yep.
You know, you're sleeping, and then all of a sudden, just,
Yeah.
which is pretty funny to watch when you're the
Yep.
only one awake, watching everybody else asleep on a track, and their just
Yeah.
heads are just freaking going all over
Yeah.
the place. And,
And then going back
Good
with
times.
the Army, I went back from 9 to 11. With the Army, I was with 5th Corps and 1st ID. I've been in, I don't know how many Blackhawks and Chinooks. Never
Mhm.
thought I'd be in one of those. But
right?
I flew
Yeah.
all over that beautiful country.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Many times.
Yeah.
Up,
In
now,
a-
up there, I
in a-
can see that. Yeah,
In
this
a
is beautiful.
leaking, hot
Yeah.
as hell Blackhawk.
Yeah.
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 Well, not as bad as a 46.
Oh my god.
Because remember,
yeah.
they used to like leak hydraulic
Yep,
down
I've
on
been
you while
there
you're
too,
like,
yeah. If it's not leaking, it's not flying.
right?
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly,
where's this coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's let us know when it stops leaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have a problem.
Problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you just get in the crash position at that point.
Yeah.
Right?
Reach down, grab a hold.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen a pilot or
Start praying.
on the back of his helmet it says I'm scared too, like on the back of his thing.
Nice.
So
Oh, that's
Nice.
funny.
he's sitting there flying, and you look up, and you're like, should I say anything? And you look, and you see it, and you're like, oh no, I'm gonna try to go to sleep. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather wake up.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Right.
either wake up there or just
Yeah.
this will be my
Never
last
knew what
nap.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, never knew what
Exactly.
happened.
Yeah, like as before I went forward my first time, I was contracting day to day at one MEF.
Mhm.
So with one MEF, I got to go to Germany twice.
Oh,
As
nice.
a this is a blast. I
We're
did.
at Germany.
I did. Was it Grafenwehr, and then
Okay.
1 week in Stuttgart.
Oh.
So I did a week in Grafenwehr for a workup.
hmm
Oh no, I'm sorry. I did a week in Stuttgart for the conference for the workup for the exercise because
Mhm.
one MEF was partnering with I think it was whoever was in Germany at the time with the Army.
Right.
So we were co-commanding with them.
Mhm.
So Mattis was like, one of the first generals awarded, so where he can lead
Wow.
other troops internationally. So we went over there, did a conference workup with the 3 unit and the 6 and whatever. And then because I did the 1 week as a contractor, I went back for the 30+ day exercise event.
Oh, nice.
So I was the only
Shout out to Mattis.
Well, I was the only contractor that went, so I had a car.
Oh, nice.
Right? So I drove a car from, got into Stuttgart and drove up to Grafenwehr. Or got into Munich, drove up to Grafenwehr in the car.
Wow.
And then we had 3 days of liberty during that, so I got to go all through Italy and down to Venice and then back to the.
Yeah, that's pretty
So,
awesome.
yeah, I took another contractor with me and another Marine. We had 3 days of fun.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah. That
I
sounds
mean,
like
as a
great
contractor,
time.
I was over there as a contractor. I had one corporal with us, and
Yeah.
everybody else was major or above.
Oh, wow.
So it's me and another contractor,
Yeah.
one corporal, and a ton of majors and colonels,
Yeah.
surrounded by 10,000 enlisted army. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, we walked the earth.
Yeah, that's
Did
great.
whatever the hell we want for a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Nice. That's a way to roll right there.
Yeah. And then ended up deploying with 1st MLG for 7 or 8 months in Iraq.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had fun in country doing
Yeah.
IT and C2 stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the MW. So the MWR actually in Ramadi was the only spot where you could have internet
Yep.
that wasn't on Nipper and Sipper.
Yeah.
And like so we used to we'd go to Fallujah sometimes or Baghdad or we'd go back to TQ
Mhm.
and it was like
This sucks.
well I mean well they had you'd go into the NWR there and it would just be like they had internet that you didn't like it wasn't like dial up
Yeah.
like in Ramadi it was just like you'd sit there and you'd play you'd rent out a thing for like a half an hour and you'd play like solitaire and then for like 10 minutes it would just be like if you were checking email or whatever you would just sit there and load for like 10 minutes where you're playing a game of solitaire. You go to like TQ in these places, they have like internet cafes and stuff, and
Yeah.
you walk by and there's people in there playing like World of Warcraft and stuff like that, and you're like,
Yeah.
why am I living in the slums? Like,
Right.
why can't we have this out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's pretty crazy how you take those little things for granted, like having internet. You
Yeah.
know, like nowadays everybody has their phones. It's just one.
Yeah.
It's part of your life. You know, like
Yeah.
like when you leave the house, you check for your keys, your wallet, and your cell phone. Or if you carry a gun, you're good.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are the things that you don't leave the house without. But I mean, I remember not having like internet access for
See, that's
a
why
year.
I maybe older or whatever. That's where I take from riding
Yeah.
motorcycle or doing rugby or whatever. Just I routinely leave my phone elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not my umbilical cord. Yeah, I'll
Right.
go for hours without checking it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's just we've lost something. Like one of the best times I used to do what's called LAN parties. That's where my company name comes from, Frag City.
Mhm.
So right in a video game, when you frag somebody,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
whatever. So, like when I was at McSess in the 4000 course, right, internet was just coming on, dial up. But we would have LAN parties. We would physically set up networks.
Yeah.
30 of us would sit in a room and play Quake or Doom,
Hmm.
right? You would, and then that went away. That's where Frags. I was going to start basically a retail front to where you could either bring your PC or rent one, and then you would have a LAN party
Nice.
for a competition.
Yeah.
And there would be
Nice.
like a lobby where people could watch what you're viewing, kind of like when you're
Yeah.
at the art range right now, and you can watch the lines.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing, you can watch other people playing, but
Oh, nice.
all that's gone
Now
away.
they're
and
Twitch
now
and that
it's
stuff.
now it's Twitch, but
Yeah.
nobody's connected, and right, you're just talking
Right.
over Teams or whatever the hell you want. Like, okay, yeah. We're getting to literally is turning into Wally. Nobody has to leave their room or their chair.
Yeah.
Right,
True statement.
food's delivered to you. Nobody knows how
Yeah.
to barbecue anymore. Nothing. Nobody gets together.
There is a big loss of like human interaction.
Yeah.
But a lot of that stuff I'm grateful for because I have friends that I was in the Marine Corps with who are stationed in Japan.
Yeah.
So it's still cool to be able to hang out with them. But there's
No, but
definitely
it's cool as you guys made that local connection, right? Because
Mhm.
I have those connections in Virginia, and
Yeah.
at least the Marine Corps gives you that.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
a whole generation of people that didn't
Right.
become a part of anything outside
Yeah.
of high school.
Yeah.
And they
Yep.
weren't, Ted Bundy in high school, right? Getting his 4 touchdowns, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
Or
think this,
Al.
and
Yeah.
another thing too is like I think that's why we're doing this is because
Yeah.
this is the piece right here that people have forgotten. It's how to communicate with each other,
Mhm. Yeah.
you know, or how to listen.
Well,
Yeah.
we were in the Corps at the same time.
Oh, yeah,
We were
absolutely.
both in 3rd Marines,
Yeah.
maybe or maybe not at the same time.
Yeah, what year?
I was there from, entered in 98. I was on island by
So-
99, and I left in 02. But I was,
Oh,
got
yeah.
out of
We
the
were
Marine Corps in
time.
01.
No, we're the same time. I was 99-02.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah, yeah.
we didn't meet until our wives, who knew each
That's
other
right.
forever,
Yes,
right?
yeah, that's
But-
true. That is
yeah.
a true statement. Yeah.
But we're not this because of them.
No.
Yeah.
Love them to death. We're
Yeah,
this
well, it's
because of the Corps.
Well, what's funny is
right?
because
And
when
then
we
that
did,
just strengthens it. That,
Well,
but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not what
oh no,
my
absolutely.
wife has. Many of friends that I can't stand their husbands,
Oh yeah.
and I have many of friends that my wife doesn't like their wives.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny because as soon as we met, we clicked because
Yeah.
it was like one of those. Oh, dude, you're a Marine. I was a
Yeah.
Marine. Oh crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I totally
Inherently,
forgot.
I have to put up with any quirks I don't like about you. Same
Yeah,
way.
I
but it
know,
doesn't matter.
It
Like,
is, it is
yeah.
what it is.
but there's that brotherhood that's always there,
Yeah.
whether or
Yeah.
not we were ever in the same unit or anything.
Right.
The
Oh,
fact
absolutely.
you've
Yeah.
been on those yellow footprints makes us brothers.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Period.
Oh yeah. Like today, man, we had a good time shooting.
Yes.
Just getting out there and just getting out with people. And I tried to get this guy to come out, but
Mm.
he never returned me my message. So.
That's
Yeah,
not true. We'll talk about that
All
offline.
right,
I don't
guess I'll-
want any evidence
Was you
on
shopping for motorcycles?
camera about.
I'm just
Yeah. Anyways.
hashtag hiding.
Yeah. It's very weird because like my father was in the Marine Corps as well, so
Yeah.
it's weird to get like a Semper Fi brother
Yeah.
text
yeah.
message or phone call, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's weird. Like I look at the name and I'm like, that's just weird. Like
Yeah.
like I get it because it's there, but it's like it's those things that you can. Being in the military in general, you kind of have a camaraderie, but
Yeah.
like Marines, you can just sit down and it's like. You just start telling stories.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I knew a guy just like that, or you might even know the same people. You never know,
Yeah.
but you can relate on an individual level because everybody, regardless of when you went in, had very similar. The Marine Corps, like it's always changing, but you still do stupid shit. Like
Yeah.
everybody,
Every day.
it's all the same.
I still go to the
Reg-
Marine Corps
regardless
League.
of.
I have the joy of live south of Quantico.
Yeah.
We have the best museum
Yeah.
in any
Oh, you
service.
do.
If
Yeah.
you've never been to the
Amazing.
Marine Corps Museum, Marine or not, there's nothing that comes close. We have
Yeah.
the best
Mhm.
museum.
It is a great
ever,
museum.
right?
Yeah.
The Marine Corps League's right around there. I'm a member.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like. I still go to balls every now and then for a birthday.
Nice.
Even if I don't go, I would be on travel, and if it's our birthday, you'll see a Marine, and it's happy birthday, Marine, and
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
just-
Exactly.
you're in a
yeah.
bar, you're having a beer, something's happening on our birthday, and it doesn't matter where you are in the
Yeah.
world.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, you got to get it out there, man. It's one of our birthdays.
yeah.
Yeah. It's great. It's a good time.
It is a great time.
So let's see. So we asked about your best day. What was your worst day while you were in the military?
Probably about trying to think. Yeah. I think maybe 3 days before I got out, busted down to PFC.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, Chesty Puller said if you haven't hit every
Oh.
rank twice, you're not a real Marine. So
Besides me that, just take me to the brig. I want to
Yeah.
see the Marines. Yeah. I
Yeah,
never designed
exactly,
the
yeah.
brig. I never did any of that. Just I got peer pressured in. It was one of the last hoorahs. You know, I was getting my med board
Yeah.
or my medical qual to get out. So it was
Mhm.
in my last 30 days. I could have stepped away from all PT.
Right.
I didn't. So I ended up doing one of my many a nights of celebrating drinking, soon to be a civilian.
Yeah.
Overslept, missed the PT,
Oh.
and then had a new CEO of comm company
Yeah.
Mm.
wanted to, so got busted
Yeah.
down to PFC. I still had enough to get honorable, so whatever. I have no shame, and PFC Allen got out.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I'm
Huh?
It-
honorable
sucks.
discharge, whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
It sucks when people want to either have a personal grudge or if they're like, I'm gonna set an
Oh,
example,
I'm sure it's setting an example, whatever.
and
Right.
especially over some trivial stuff like sleeping in.
Well, no, especially on the flip side, right? I should have had that in fortitude then
Yeah.
at 22, saying, you
Sure.
know what? I'm not going to sprain an ankle right before I get out
Yeah.
and get held on some I'm getting out.
Yeah.
I should have just abstained from all PT.
Sure. Yeah,
But
yeah, definitely.
I wanted to, in the twilight of my
Yeah.
limited 4-year career,
Yeah.
experience as much Marine Corps as I could.
Of course.
And that included the drinking with my buddies,
Yeah.
celebrating us, all three of us getting out,
Yeah.
to me oversleeping and being late to PT.
Yeah.
So it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm holding, but I did it, whatever.
Sure.
And
Sure.
I've
Right.
made a hell of a life since I got out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Made yourself better. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly.
I mean, I looked at it and I knew where my career was. I mean, I saw the contracting company. I saw
Yeah.
the sucking out of the knowledge in the Marine Corps, and I just knew I wouldn't be in charge of where I was going.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
You'd always be working
I've
on.
owned 2 houses, and I've picked where I lived every damn time I moved, and
Yeah.
I pick who I work for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You would have always been working on somebody else's dime.
Yeah, most people, even when I'm not even telling young Marines or future anybody listening to this podcast,
Yeah.
most people feel that people have power over you, of those you give the power to.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Just you pick who you work for as much as they pick who they want to work for them.
Exactly.
People don't get. If you don't want to be a fry cook, don't be one.
Yeah.
Right? Go out and get another job.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mindset.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it extends long beyond service or anything else. It just
Mhm.
becomes being a personal, responsible human.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I
you know,
agree.
It definitely does. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So kind of going back to the start. So you started your own business.
Yep.
Do you want to go into that a little more of like, what you guys do? You want to plug your business,
Yeah,
your
we're-
website,
We're
or
a cybersecurity company. I do IT consulting.
Mhm.
I pretty much treat it the same way I do everything else.
Yeah.
I pretty much know what I'm doing and think I could tell you how to do it better,
yeah.
whether I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
I like to be my own boss.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people, if you ever won the lottery, would you step away? I just always want the ability to go, you know what? You're a pain in the ass customer. You're not worth the money I'm getting paid, so I'm walking away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's-
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I enjoy helping who I help, and
Yeah.
those that listen, we tend to make better products and
That's good,
better
yeah.
solutions.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's always good being your own boss because if you hate your job, like you only have one person to complain to.
It's not even a job's a job, right?
Yeah.
You gotta, kind of like the same thing I treat with marriage, right? If you don't have a life outside of the marriage, you shouldn't be married, right? So if you don't have a life without a job,
Yeah.
you don't have a life.
Yeah.
Right. It takes something to pay for what you want to do.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
if you don't want to work to get money to pay to what you want to do, then you should be doing less.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Live within your means.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. It's a big problem for a lot of people.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always treated on this scale like at 20 you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
At 30 you can afford to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
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 Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
you should be on that path, you
Yeah,
know. And,
definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
I've got a 17-year-old and he's learning the hard facts.
Yeah.
That's the way to
It
learn.
took
though.
me 42 years to get what I have.
Yeah.
You're not getting it at 17.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Neither should anybody else.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of them
Exactly.
lucky people. There's just
Yeah.
very few that you got something out there that
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole generation of people, and started with my generation thinking they owed something.
Right. No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It is definitely there's definitely problems with that.
Yeah.
But it's a subject for a different podcast.
True that.
Yeah.
True that. Yeah,
Uh.
we'd probably go on that forever on that one, just because
Uh.
of the way it's it's a problem within society.
Yeah, we'll leave that to like I don't know Joe Rogan or somebody who can say
Right,
that stuff
nah,
and
yeah.
not get canceled. You know.
Right. What are they gonna do? Stop paying us? No, I'm kidding. Just
Yeah.
kidding. We're not getting anything for this. So.
Awesome. Well, it was great having you here.
Thanks for having me.
Craig, thanks for
sounds
coming
like
out, man.
you've done a lot of cool stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like more on the civilian side, but I mean, it's still you're still hand in hand with the military. The military and civilians, like they do everything together. I mean, you can't have an op, you can't deploy without having civilians there.
No.
And it's just
Right.
you know, it's something that not a lot of people. When you think about the military, you don't think about the civilian side of it.
Yeah.
But everywhere you go on every base, there's always civilians, regardless if you're stateside or overseas or deployed. You know, like
I mean, it dates back to, you know, you look at the Khans and the Mongolians, you know,
Mhm.
you know, amateurs talk tactics, right? Professionals talk logistics,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
It takes a ton to
Yeah.
move a force.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
And that they all go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to have both
Yeah.
in order to be successful.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So
I
dang,
agree.
man,
Yeah.
it's great. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming out, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for having
definitely.
me.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it. And, you know, stay tuned for our next podcast. I think we're going to do something special in between sometime soon. We're still working it out. But there's going to be a different video coming out soon than a regular podcast. So,
Right. Definitely gonna
Um,
break it up a little bit. You don't have to necessarily hear, a veteran's story. We definitely we
Yeah.
got some prize for you.
yeah, definitely. But, all right. Well, you know, appreciate being here. And then we'll see you next time.
All right.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Take care, everybody.